Hey there, greetings. How do you do? You are so welcome. Thank you for being where you're at. We're here today to talk about Mars transit through Sagittarius, which is taking place from Monday, December the 13th. And it's going to be going on until January the 24th, 2022, intending that you're finding yourself in gracious moments. Mars is our self-identification. It's who I am. It's who you are too. It is that I am. And so it's the self. It's action. It's activation. It's the warrior spirit incarnated into the earthly realm. And so what we have the opportunity to do is to find that Sagittarius is all about the philosophy. It's all about international travel. It's all about going up above and beyond. Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, is all about expansion, and yet we have the South Node in Sagittarius for just a couple more weeks, not actually for the entirety of this transit of Mars, but it will be that Mars makes an instantaneous conjunction with K2, the South Node of the moon, and this is the tail of the dragon, and it's actually about letting go of old limitations, letting go of old stories that don't serve us. We're actually going through a closing 270-degree angle of a cycle that started of Mars and Uranus that began back in Sagittarius at the end of the 80s. And so now 33 years into that 44-year cycle, we have the South Node going through Sagittarius, complementing how we've had so many opportunities to let go of national beliefs, separations due to the class systems, limitation due to certain values of certain agendas that don't serve us as humanity or individuals anymore. And so this tremendous opportunity to see that Mars coming out of its home sign of Scorpio into the sign of Sagittarius allows us to broaden our opportunity to see that anything that has been an ending is now being reborn. And so we can find that so many things are being born again into this experience. So many things are being born again into this chapter of our sky, of our experience in our hero's journey. Sagittarius is the rising phoenix. We're currently within a Sagittarian lunar cycle that started with a solar eclipse. And so now we can find that being born from the ashes, we're able to rise into a new fortuitous opportunity to broaden our own self-activation. Now, without further ado, what I'm going to be doing is going through each of the 12 signs of the Zodiac and pulling tarot cards, of course, so that it has the opportunity to know how it's going to be taking place for each of your placements, whether it's your ascendant, your sun, or your moon sign. But before I do that, I'll be sharing the chart on the screen so we can see the whole transit over the course of the next 5 weeks of Mars through Sagittarius. Not only that, we're going to be feeling into the depth of this transit as well. But I must implore and encourage you that if you would like to take advantage of the 30% discount that is available on 1 hour and 2 hour readings, then all the information that you're able to that you may need is in the description box below. We do have a sale available for you guys from now until the end of the year. We don't do sales very often, so take advantage. If you've been looking to get your astrology readings, there's no better time than before a new year as we go through the winter solstice, and we've made it available that you can get a discount for your own horoscopes, for your own natal chart readings. And so take advantage while it's available. 30% off is a whopping discount, and so take advantage. I'll be very excited to connect with you. I see you in the live chat there, Robin Evans. Thank you for your presence. Anybody else who may be there watching, I'm grateful for you. If you're watching and recording, you are deeply and dearly appreciated. Thank you for being you. You're a superstar. Now, without further ado, let me get the show on the road. It's very busy, isn't it? Everybody's so busy at the end of the year. And so there's a lot going on. And, you know, it's a fantastic time, isn't it? It's exciting when things are going on. I'm actually experiencing my Mercury return today. I've got Mercury at 23 degrees of Sagittarius. And Mercury actually does make ingress into Capricorn the same day that Mars makes ingress into Sagittarius. And so let me just share the screen so you can see all of this on the screen taking place. intending that you're finding yourself within your own heart space, within these fantastic moments that we're within now. I'm grateful for you. It's been such a busy time, but we are here to really find that we're honouring ourselves through these moments. And so here we go. You can see that Mars makes ingress into Sagittarius on the 13th of December. And Mars moves about a degree every 2 days, shall be in this space for 5 weeks. And it will be actually that upon the ingress, Mars makes an instantaneous conjunction, as I have mentioned, with Ketu, the south node of the dragon, which is meaning we have the opportunity for us to let go of many layers, let go of so many tiers of our old stories. A story is another word for tier or layer. And so this is a great time, because when we let go of limitations, when we let go of outdated stories, we're coming into more authenticity. We're accepting ourselves. We're broadening our capacity to see who we are, which is a sound frequency spiritual being incarnated into a slow vibrational density. And so we can feel the squeeze. We might have felt the squeeze, and we are finding that obviously coming through this eclipse season, it's like going through the birth canal. And so when we go into the Sagittarian energy, it's like being born again. And so in finding that you're finding your graces and you're able to let go of whatever old outdated stories that are going on for you. That for me, I went to the dentist a few days ago and it was a little bit intimidating, and yet I'm preparing myself by the time that Mars makes this ingress into Sagittarius to return back to the dentist and to have a really good fix-up and to face the music and to repackage these stories, these layers. I mean, we're going through so many, aren't we? And we're finding that we're stepping into a new echelon, a deeper vibrational octave of our being. So intending that you're nurturing yourself through these moments. Obviously, there's so much going on in the sky with Venus preparing to station retrograde, which will happen while Mars is taking this transit through Sagittarius. Now, there's not so many aspects that Mars makes through this transit, but we'll just work through them. The next aspect actually takes place from the 25th of December. That Mars is just unaspected mostly through this time. Actually, we see that Mars does actually, as we can see, makes a trine to Chiron on the 25th of December, which is the Christmas day, the same day that Venus makes its second conjunction with Pluto. And so this is very interesting. The actual trine to Chiron from Sagittarius to Aries, where Chiron is, from Mars to Chiron. Chiron being in Aries, Mars's sign. And we see that the South Node by this point has gone back into Mars's sign of Scorpio, which is the 12th house of Sagittarius. And so we can be perceiving that we're dealing with a lot of collective, unforeseen, hidden aspects. Like the 12th house is kind of the collective, and Scorpio is hidden, secretive. It's the truth that has got to be gone deep into to really feel, and it's an emotional truth. It's an emotional truth for the whole complexity of humanity that we're dealing with. And so this can be both healing and a hindrance with a trine, a harmonic opening trine from Mars to Chiron in Aries. And this takes place as the moon is waning after the full moon in Gemini. This is after the winter solstice, and so there's so much that can change just between now and then. And so we can recognize that we're dealing with a new story, because whenever we come over through the winter solstice, they always find that it's like the next echelon of our story. We've gone from autumn into the winter period. And so it can be very interesting. I think the writing's on the wall, isn't it? If you've been watching any of the news, and I haven't, but I follow a lot of astrologers that do read into the tabloids, and so we can be seeing the fallout of the next stages of our worldwide endeavor that we're learning and that we're growing through. It's like a test through this university. What are we going to comply with, and what aren't we? I know that many countries, certainly the States as well as the UK, are looking to get passports that have suggesting that we've already had these types of vaccines and things like that. But we can find that there's a massive kickback to such a suggestion already taking place, because people realize that this isn't humane. This isn't necessarily the best thing for individuals, and Mars is the individual, but everybody has got their own perspective on these different things. And we can see that these different experiences are very much going to be brought up in the courts of law. And this is what Sagittarius rules, the courts of law. And so this is quite interesting for us. Anyway, we keep on moving, and it's just a few days later on the 28th of December that we have our second aspect. And this is Mars making a quincunx to Uranus, which will still be retrograde. So Mars at 11 degrees of Sagittarius makes a 150-degree quincunx to Uranus, which is retrograde in Venus's sign of Taurus. So we're looking to integrate this expanded sense of self, the warrior spirit, and the values into the community. And so this is quite interesting. We can't quite see how things are taking place with a quincunx. It's an awkward aspect, but it's also a very spiritually intuitive, guided kind of energy that we're working with at this time. And so we keep on moving. And the day after, on the 29th of December, Mars will make a sextile to Saturn. This is both a clampdown and a squeeze on individuals, maybe traveling or worldwide implications of new laws. They ain't so new anymore. We can smell them coming a mile off or even 10,000 miles off, depends where you are, I suppose. But even though this is the case, we were able to find that there is also opportunities to broaden our sense of authority as we self-organize. We can find that there's lots of rebellion and revolution. This is a revolutionary time because they want to stop people visiting their families at Christmas in the UK. They want to stop kind of traditions that have always been about coming together in a jovial manner. And so we can find that this is a tremendous opportunity to put our foot down, to not react in a fighting way, but in a way which is kind of a tremendous, distinct diplomacy. You know, fighting is a finite kind of reaction, but when we resolve and respond in a loving, rebellious, revolutionary manner by self-organizing ourselves and say, nah, we ain't having it, then we can recognize that this is a very interesting time. But Venus retrograde at 24 degrees at the same time as Mercury going into its shadow at this phase. I love this sextile between Saturn and Mars because, yeah, even if there is like new laws implemented or governmental restrictions in a worldwide level implemented at this stage, we can find that there's a massive kickback from the individuals who suggest that they're standing within love in the face of different authorities and saying, no, we are the authors of our script. We are choosing ourselves and we stand together, unified at our core. Now that's pure strength. That's leadership. That's what Mars is all about. But it's a little bit awkward because we still see that Mars, trining Chiron, is saying that there's no permission slips being guarded, being handed out unless we hand a permission slip to ourselves. How do you guys feel about that? I want some feedback. There's people watching this video and I'm only hearing from Robin. I would like to hear from more of you guys. What do you think about these things? What do you feel about these things? And how are you going to respond within love? Are you just going to kick back and allow these new laws to be implemented? Are you going to go down and get locked down into your houses? Or are you going to stand strong for your business, for your family, for your children, for your inner child, for your spirit, and for your inspiration for life? Because Mars in Sagittarius is a very great energy. Mars is a fiery energy in Aries. It rules Aries, you know, but it's also an emotionally deep and powerful energy. Obviously, Mars does rule Scorpio also. And so we can find that there's a lot of undoing of the trauma that society has faced over the past few years. There's this tremendous opportunity to turn things around and be really rising like the phoenix. But again, these new laws are rising like the phoenix too. And so there's this contendership. There's this number one contendership as we find that we are the response. We are the change that can stop the corruption. Thank you for your contributions, heartfelt vibrations. I'm very grateful for you. Let's go. Yes, I love your fire. I love your inspiration. I love your heartfelt desire to create change because we are the change. It's either change or be change at this point. And so we keep on moving and we move into the new year. And we find that the moon moves into its dark phase as we go through New Year's Eve into 2022. It's very exciting. We're preparing for a new moon in Capricorn, which takes place on the 2nd of January. Our next aspect from Mars, though, shan't be until the 11th of January, after it's made it halfway through Sagittarius. Mars will actually go on to go retrograde at the pretty much the second half of 2022, 180 degrees across the way in Gemini. And so it's very interesting to see that there's this kind of poetry in motion through this transit. By the 11th of January, Mars at 20 degrees of Sagittarius will make a square to Neptune. Neptune in Pisces, both ruled by Jupiter, by which time Jupiter's made ingress into Pisces for the second time, is coming out of its shadow at this stage. And this is a mutable energy. Sagittarius is the end of autumn. Pisces is the end of the winter. And so we have a 90-degree angle from Mars to the ruling planet of Pisces, and this is about finding that we're able to respond to illusions even though we might not have all of the truth. Mars represents truth, and the truth is either going to be shied away from or stood up to with a great amount of vengeance, with a great amount of self-empowerment. This is very, very brilliant. Andrew in the chat says there's been the feeling of disillusionment with the powers that be, have no respect, and he has no respect for them anymore. Well, I really respect you for standing up with your truth, Andrew. All power to you. And plain and simple, I love you too. Thank you for being so confident, and thank you for having zero fear. Zero Medeo. I can't say Mayo. I think it's Spanish for zero, no fear. I'm trying to learn the old Spanish. So it's a great activation. Maybe by the time Mars has gone into Sagittarius, I'll be a bit more fluent. I do practice my best every single day. I see you in the live chat, Stephen, the Jupiterian. Thank you for your presence. You're a brilliant man. You are an astrologer. You're a masterful man. I'm grateful for you. So this can create change. Mars. Trine Neptune, there could be very many changes on a worldwide level. Maybe we can have a lot more compassion, even for the different divisions, even for the people who aren't standing up. We can find that we are able to have hold a space of love, even if they're holding illusions, which can be incredibly frustrating for us. Maybe they're equally frustrated for people who are standing up and rebelling. So there's there's divisions, and the governments are trying to separate us. And that's not fun, because it's in our families. And we're having to deal with all of this. And yet we can find love if we can respond in our heart space. And this is the challenge which we're contending with. But yet we're able to come together and bond, because love, our word, is bond. You are the word. You are the love. We are that I am. And so this is a very powerful time for us. This is a very powerful time for these years, for this decade. This is the time that we've been waiting for. So let's take a weight off and stand up as a force of love and self-empowerment. This is the greatest opportunities of our lifetime. And many of us were born here to be the change, and many people were born here to not be that change. And that's part of our challenge. Not because they're our enemies, but because they're our brothers and sisters. And we can find that we're taking the responsibility for the collective. And so I commend you to really recognize how accomplished you are in being on the spiritual path and being the activation of joy and love. You are brilliant, each and every single one of you, whoever you are, wherever you are, even if you feel moments of fear, even if you recognize moments of scarcity. These are illusions which can be falling away as we stand into our power, as we stand up for ourselves, as the love that which we seek. We need not seek anymore, as we recognize that we are the foundation, we are the embodiment, we are the embankment of that love of wisdom, which is what Mars in Sagittarius is truly all about. So there you go. Let's broaden our scope and see things from a very large perspective, a grandiose perspective of truly who we are. And we are whole. There's no thing outside of us except for the opportunity to seize our own self-empowerment. And this is what this is all about. So there's only one more aspect, actually, from this transit, Mars hardly makes any aspects through this transit. It's actually the 23rd of January we have our last aspect, and this is after a full moon in Cancer, which is opposite Pluto, the Sun conjunct Pluto. It's very exciting. Mars goes over the galactic center, and it shall be on the 23rd of January, once Mars gets to the culminative, anaretic degree of Sagittarius, which means the very last degree, that we see that we have a quincunx again, which is this transcendental, I can't quite see it, how do we integrate it perspective to Rahu, the north node of the moon in Taurus. So Mars starts out in a conjunction with Ketu, the south node in Sagittarius. The nodes flip, and by the end of this 5-week transit of Mars in Sagittarius, we're looking to integrate how much has changed with a quincunx to Rahu, which is in Venus's sign of Taurus. And this is just taking place a couple of days before Venus stations direct in Capricorn. It shall be that on the 24th, later that day, Mars makes ingress into Capricorn, where it shall be for 5 weeks, exalted. Mars in Capricorn is in its favourite sign there, and it shall join the goddess Venus and travel in a conjunction with Venus until it reaches 0 degrees of Aquarius. It's very beautiful. It's very beautiful indeed. Thank you for your presence. See you in the live chat there, Jenna Lovecraft. I'm grateful for you. You are all so sincerely, deeply appreciated. And I'm keeping this kind of short today because I've got an appointment with somebody who I'm going to read the chart of. And so I just got to say, this is your greatest opportunity of the year to get a discount on your chart readings, whether you go for the 1 hour or if you actually take advantage and go for the 2-hour deep dive. You can make your purchases in the description box below at this time for 30% off. That is a whopping discount. Save your money, whether you want to give it to a loved one for a Christmas present or whether you want to book it because you're looking ahead into the new year, into 2022. I will apply all of the transits to your own unique birth chart so that you feel empowered, knowing that you're in alignment, and you can find that you've got all the keys. And I'm just a reflection, just showing you as your guide that you are able to find that you're exactly where you're meant to be as you show up for yourself, and you know that you're making the most of all the energies available to you in application to your own natal chart. I also do relationship chart readings, secondary progress chart readings, and if you want an elected chart for something that's special, like releasing a website or a business, or you're moving house, anything like that, maybe you're getting married, I don't know. I'm here to serve you, and I'll recognize your soul journey and give you the opportunity to see yourself through the eyes of the AstroLogos. That's what I do best, and I'm here to reflect that empowerment to you. So yeah, all the links that you need are in the description box below. Follow through and I'll send you a link to my calendar and you can schedule your own appointment and we'll find a mutually beneficial time for us to connect. Follow through and I'll be excited to meet with you. All of those readings are also recorded, so you actually get a copy of our conversation for you to look back at. And many of my clients say 6 months down the line, they review what they've already lived, and there's still more of the transits to live through because I give you so much information that the recording is so valuable for your continual integration and astrological studies. So I look forward to sharing those connections with you. Right, I see you in the live chat, Ashby. Oh, you've got your ascendant at 27 degrees of Sagittarius at the galactic center. Woo-wee! That's a big deal. This means that actually the next full moon is taking place on your descendant, the full moon in Gemini. That's very cool. And so thank you for your presence. I see you there, Truth Seeker. You are brilliant. Now, let me actually go into the tarot. I'll take a sip of my beverage if you don't mind. Thank you for honoring yourselves. Thank you for holding a space of love. And recognizing all the different stories in your cells, in your cellular membrane of the embodiment of who you are. We're here to breathe into our bodies. It's actually made of 99.9% water, which is reprogrammable. You might know that Dr. Emoto, he's passed away now, but he did that great work about consciousness. And what is consciousness? It's a picture of water. And so the greater picture which we program into the embodiment of our water vessel means that our spirit vehicle can get clear on all the old outdated stories. Some of the echoes within our ecology go back through many ages, through many eons. They go back about 9 lifetimes because we passed them on in our biology through the family line, through the matriarchal line. It's not just hearsay, it's feelings that are very much in our DNA that we're able to reprogram rather than being all tense and running on old outdated programs. This is where we get conscious. We're coming out of a Kali Yuga, and this is the great labor of love. This is what we signed up for. As we take this type of responsibility, we recognize that we are change. And this is brilliant. This is pure transcendence. This is a spiritual revolution. This is our time now. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your presence. I see you, Jason. Flattery. I'm grateful for you. You've got a Gemini moon. Well, maybe it's your, maybe at the full moon. It's near your moon. Very exciting these times are. Let's start with Sagittarius. This is the transit of Mars through Sagittarius from the 13th of December all the way to the 24th of January. And this is, as I say, about going up, above and beyond. Mars is small. It's an individual, just a little pinprick, but that's what we are. We're just small individuals out of beings, billions of beings. But that doesn't mean that we're insignificant. This doesn't mean that you should be unrecognized. This doesn't mean that you can't stand up for your truth, whatever truth that may be. Sagittarius is all about truth and faith and trust. And so the greatest form of love is trust and faith. When you have faith in yourself, when you back and reassure yourself from the inside out, you broaden your scope of your reality all around you. This is the philosophy of love. Sagittarius is all about philosophia. My name's Philip, which means lover of horses. And Sagittarius, the centaur, is all about being centered, not about going, oh, that's the leader. Oh, that's my family. I'll listen to them. Oh, that's the president. Oh, that's the prime minister. I'll listen to these folks. No, it's about placing ourselves in the center of our creation as the authority, as the author of the script. And as we know, Sagittarius is the guru. Whatever it has impacted upon us, we might have felt small for a little bit of time, but we learn, we earn our own respect, and we find, I ain't small, I ain't insignificant, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And so whatever impacts us makes us a bit of a guru of love. We access the hidden wisdom, Sophia, and we come into the love, Philos, and we find that we can add it all together and find that we are the great solution of any problem. That is the truth. A problem is finite, solid, scarce. But when we go into our breath and we come into acceptance, into relaxation, we come into the watery kind of consciousness, the water relationship with ourselves. What is water? It's a solution. You are the solution. If you're 99.9% water, goodness gracious me, you are that love. Thank goodness for that. I'm grateful for you. I see you in the live chat, Nichols. You're brilliant. I'm grateful for you. You're continuously supporting us here. You are deeply appreciated. Right, Sagittarius, you have got this card, which has popped out for you for this transit. It's about finding that you reign into your own heart. This is a fiery wand. It's a queen, a fiery queen of wands. So you can be your own inspiration. You don't have to stray. You don't have to go far. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And yes, you got the Wheel of Fortune, very Jupiterian, so you're able to broaden your scope and find that you are very expansive, obviously very fortunate. When we access our own self, we're finding that that is very fortuitous and opens up portals and potentials for us. And so you've got a very inspirational, magnanimous, magnetic spin of the wheel, and that is actually in your own favor. So this is for the transit of Mars in Sagittarius from the 13th of December all the way to the 24th of January for Sag. And it's in the first house, obviously, the Queen of Wands. Very nice for you. Mars does rule your 5th house as well as your 12th house. So you can be letting go of collective emotions through very creative endeavors. Very inspirational. I love it. Great stuff for you. I love it. I see you in the live chat, Jack Tarsh. Thank you for your presence. You're brilliant. Stephen says he is the solution in the muck of life. Yes, we got to get mucky sometimes, and it's actually going through the depths of things that we get to be born again. This is the root. We are the root. We are the way. We always have been. And so next we got Capricorn. And obviously Sagittarius is the 12th house of Capricorn. And so this is a tremendous time of finishing. You know that the governments are ruled by Capricorn, right? This is the finishing of their plan. Are you going to be allowing this? Are we going to allow that? Or are we going to come up with a tremendous amount of distinction? Yes, our authority can just stop it because we're the collective. And so Mars going through the 12th house of Capricorn can be a very big turnaround for us, even those of us who might have felt that we're small, too insignificant. That's the ending. This is the karmic ending for the governments because the truth is out. Game over. This is our time, and this is the time that we stand up and get to choose ourselves. Yes, indeed. I love it. So this is for Capricorn ascendants, Capricorn sun, and Capricorn moon. What we're going to have, all these cards are a little bit tight-fisted. They don't want to pop out for this Capricorn malarkey. So the 12th house is also about our imagination. If you can find that you're envisioning it, if you can find that you vision your day before it takes place, if you can find that you're taking practices of writing affirmations, they can be part of our manifestations. When we're working with the 12th house, we're working with channeling energy. We're working with channeling a stream of consciousness. And so the card which we got for you, Capricorn, is a brand new emotional beginning. We got the Ace of Cups. This could be just about feeling into the energy which allows us to flow. It's about the solution, as you know. You know, truth. This is a whole new journey that we're coming into. The Fool and the Ace of Cups. For Capricorn, Mars rules your 4th house, where Aries is, and the 11th house, where Scorpio is. So this is about self-organizing in our root, self-organizing in our community and our family and friends. You are very much a leader, Capricorn. You're a cardinal energy. And so with this mutable energy going on in your 12th house, this is a tremendous opportunity for you to lead. And the gold which you reveal by leading yourself is the alchemy, which really allows to be the message for all of those loved ones, whether they're friends, families, foes. Really, we're all brothers and sisters in this space. So we've got the Ace of Cups and the Fool for Capricorn. Great stuff for you guys. Brilliant it is. And so Aquarius, this is obviously a very exciting time for you. It's the last couple of weeks of Jupiter in your sign. It's the last couple of weeks of the great conjunction. This is the end of days for those corporations and states. It's the last opportunity for them. Obviously, Jupiter does rule Sagittarius. Very interesting it is. And so this transit's taking place of Mars and Sagittarius in your 11th house of your spheres of influence. And you are influential. Obviously, you're all about the 11th house style energy. This can be accessing and broadening your sense of self identity and expression of your genius. Mars rules your 3rd house, where Aries falls, as well as the 10th house, where Scorpio falls. And so this can bring big changes for your role in the world and how you express it. You might have been held in back, but now this is a tremendous time in connecting and action. It is time for action. And this action doesn't have to be malicious. It doesn't have to be finite. It doesn't have to be coming from scarcity. It can be coming from a totally abundant space of love, a wise space within ourselves as we organize and connect with each other. And so what we got for you, Aquarius, is the 8 of Pentacles. This is very valuable collaborations. You're self-organizing your collaborations in the world. Mars does rule your 10th house, Scorpio, and your 3rd house of communication, where Aries falls. And so this is about finding that you've got this new sense of self, Mars. You've got this new sense of direction, Mars, going through your 11th house, and you're just leading yourself as you connect with the most valuable people, and other people recognizing the value in you also. Tremendous stuff for Aquarius, transit of Mars through your 11th house of Sagittarius. It is the 8 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I see you there, Astro Seeker. Thank you for being the foundation of love. You're brilliant. I appreciate you. Next, we got Pisces, fellow Jupiterian sign. This is the top of your sky. Mutable energy there. Big changes for your role in the world, yeah? Yes, my mum's a Pisces. She's just retired, but I bet she's still going back into work, doing all kinds of things. So what's going on for you, Pisces, is that actually Jupiter's rolling out of your 12th house into your 1st house on the 28th of December. That's your ruling planet. And yet, we're going to be talking about how Mars, the activation, the self-warrior, the self-love, is going through your 10th house. So this is about your role in the world, how you feel perceived in the world. But yet Mars rules your second house for money, value, your worth. And yet you might have different values to other people, but that's okay. You're obviously very considerate, Pisces, with other people's values. And so you might walk a different walk and show compassion in a different manner than what others may be able to. Maybe people can learn from you as you assert yourself in the world. And yet also Mars rules your ninth house. And so this is about really considering other people's emotional belief systems, whether they feel trapped or whether they're hiding them. This is a great time of revealing for us. The veil has fallen. The veil has fallen, and we're right here where we're meant to be. And so for this transit of Mars through your 10th house, Pisces, what we got is temperance. It's exactly what I said, right? It's the alchemy of our emotions in consideration to ourselves in relation to others. This means that we can be very gentle with a little pipette of love, a little bit of consideration for ourselves and one another. We're able to navigate any water. And yet also you can find that you're very shrewd, Pisces, because we got the Queen of Swords, which is about your intellectual magnificence. It's about being very considerate with your word, with your thought. As I said earlier, we are the word of love. And so you can source the opportunity to know what to say and what not to say, what to think and what not to spend too much time considering either. If it gives you the collywobbles, if it makes you feel anxiety, you know how to transmute that by finding your own emotional alchemy with this Temperance card and the Queen of Swords for the transit for Pisces of Mars through your 10th house in Sagittarius from December the 13th until January 24th, 2022. Very nice indeed. You guys, I love your contributions. Thank you for connecting in the live chat. You're all a bunch of brilliant stars. So next we got Aries. Well, Mars is your ruling planet, and of course Sagittarius is the 9th house of Aries. And so now you might be finding that you're learning, maybe you're studying, maybe you're traveling, Aries. Maybe this is about finding that you're dealing with your self-orientation with regards to each of those in the big wide world. And so this is a very interesting time for us all. And this is about broadening your sense of self. Maybe you felt that actually you were going through some kind of endings and now being born again out of Mars' transit from the 8th house into the 9th. This is about really finding that we're able to really do anything. We're very accomplished. These opportune moments to broaden our sense of self is very much on the cards for you. And so what we got is the Chariot. You can navigate yourself anywhere when you hold yourself near and dear. The Chariot is the human body. It is the spirit vehicle. And so you see it's like a TARDIS. I mean, here in Mexico, we say, Buenas tardes, which means good afternoon. But in Doctor Who, the TARDIS is actually a time-traveling machine. And so we can recognize that actually, yes, this spirit vehicle is a time-traveling machine. We're dealing with some of the oldest stories of humanity, and they're repeating. Time's a loop, time's a cycle, time is repeating. We are going through the beginning of times again, and it might be that we've actually heard this story as the end of times once before. And so now we're being born into a new rite of passage. The rising phoenix is this self-orientation which you're able to honor. And so Mars rules your 8th house. This is about considering those people who you do have near and dear emotional connections with. And yet you've also got this 5 of Swords. Mars ruling your 1st house. It's about your self-creativity. You've got the major arcana of the Chariot. And it's not a 5 of Swords, it's the 5 of Wands. So it's about how can you find that you're an inspiration. You're leading with your soul's gold. And you're really revealing your truth to those other people that are around you. And your notice is actually a frequency. If you listen to the word note is what you do with music. And so your frequency truly turns into matter. You truly matter. And so when you show up for yourself, your frequency, when you show your own belief system, other people get notice. They notice you. You matter. And so when you hold a space, you can transcend time. You can move beyond any emotional territory. You can navigate any terrain, even if you're traveling. This is an opportunity. You don't need one of those silly passports. I don't. I've got here without even taking the tests. So there you go. The Chariot and the 5 of Wands for Aries. Transit of your ruling planet Mars through Sagittarius from December the 13th all the way till January the 24th in your 9th house. Very nice indeed. I see you there, Christina Carey. Thank you for your presence. You're brilliant. You're definitely a superstar. Each of you are equally appreciated. Now, Taurus. Well, Taurus obviously is a big deal right now because your ruling planet Venus is just stationing next to Pluto, Lord of the underworld, in your 9th house. And yet Mars transit through your 8th house is really going into the depths of connection with other people who mean so much. Obviously, the 8th house is kind of Plutonian, isn't it? And so you're dealing with yourself, your inner child, other people's inner child when they feel hidden fears or hidden truths, hidden belief systems. It's a family time. It's a time of connecting with our fellow collaborators, our colleagues. And so we've got to have a recognition of our other considerations. And sometimes people might say you're being inconsiderate with your truth, but actually you might have thought about them loads. And so we have to deal with all these types of different things. These types of things have never been really dealt with on this level. And so it's a tremendous time to repackage how we connect with other people and how we orientate our truth. And so even just talking about astrology to people who aren't into astrology can send people off into a different dimension, can't it? So the card which we got for you, which flew way over here, is the Knight of Swords. And it's just about honouring your own sense of integrity, honouring your own thought process, honouring your word. You are the word, we've said it. And so this is about considering what you say. You don't always have to talk about these subjects if we're gathering and collecting with our colleagues, with our loved ones, with our families. But sometimes these things are better spoken about. But you don't want to be like, lording around thinking you know it all, because other people might want to cut free from you. It obviously is down to you how you choose to carry yourself. But this is a big thing about communication. Your communication is very valuable, of course, Taurus. You've got emotional depth. And so you can recognize that actually your consideration is about your own narration of your connection with other people. We've got the Three of Pentacles as well as the Knight of Swords. Just honor your integrity, even if other people feel that their changes of attitude, feel that, they've changed. They're different. They're not the people they were last Christmas when they gave me my heart. And the very next day, COVID changed the way. This year, we're standing for cheers. We're not putting up with the old paradigm ending like that. This is a new world. It's our world. It's the new earth. And so this is a time to really sing loud and sing proud of our truths, but in a way that's very considerate for one another as well. Excuse my little rendition of Christmas songs there. I got a little bit jovial, which is really what that Sagittarius energy is all about. So have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of a sing along, and see how that changes the theme. See how that changes the frequency. We're sound frequency beings. Sound is a pound, man. So thank you for dialing it in and finding the love within yourself. I see you in the live chat there, Aurora Fire. I'm grateful for you. We're halfway through. And we've still got Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Libra, as well as Scorpio to do. But this is a great time for me to just remind you that actually we do have a 30% discount on all astrology readings, whether you want to go for a 1-hour reading, whether you want to come for a deep dive into all of your cycles, 2-hour consultation with me live on Zoom Messenger, where I share your own unique birth chart on the screen like I did with all of the transits earlier in this broadcast. I only have these sales available for a couple of weeks at the end of every year. And so this is a great time for you to make your own investment. And I know that there's been people saying, hey, I'm saving for a reading. Well, this is your fantastic opportunity to make the most of this discount. 30% off is quite a big saving, and I'll be very excited to connect with you. All the information is in the links in the description box below. As soon as I receive notification of your payment, I will send you a link to my schedule and you can book your own appointment time. I'm very excited to connect with you guys. Right, I'm just going to take a sip of my beverage and I'll work through the last 6 signs. That was the smallest sip in the world because I pretty much drank it all the last time I had a beverage. But as I said, we are 99.9% water, so we just do what we can, do what we oughta, eh? Anyway, thank you. We are the altar, and so we can recognize ourselves as the altar native when we come into the center of our own experiences. I'm grateful for each and every single one of you. Next, Gemini. This is a transit of Mars through your 7th house as of December the 13th all the way till January 24th. And so this is a tremendous opportunity to see yourself through a different guise, because the 7th house is all about our lens of perspective. We can even find that we might be able to put ourselves in other people's shoes, see other people's belief systems, see other people's philosophy on life, and really come into a different vantage point. Because that's consideration, that's consciousness, that's the depth of wisdom through the eyes of love. And so it's very interesting that your ruling planet, Mercury, is going to be going through Capricorn for the vast majority of this transit, your 8th house. It will go up into your 9th house and station retrograde also. You can check that video out. Of course, we did feature the Mercury transit in another video. And so Gemini, this is very interesting for you. The next full moon is in your sign, and we got for you the 5 of Swords, which is about being very creative with your intellect. You are very intellectual. Your word, we are the word. You're the messenger of God. You are actually ruled by Mercury, and so for you to really come into your heart, for you to come into your sense of empowerment, with actually Venus going retrograde, it activates your 5th house in a big way, right? Yeah, it activates your 5th house in finding that you're able to cultivate your heart's creativity in a whole new manner. And I got this for Gemini yesterday when I was talking about Mercury. We got the 2 of Wands. Mars is about the self-activation. Mars ruling both Gemini's 11th house and 6th house. It's really about the consideration of your organization, with your friendship groups, your spheres of influence, as well as your day-to-day rituals and routines, where Scorpio falls in your 6th house. And so this is very powerful for you. It's about reflecting in on your self-activation. How do you feel about yourself? How do you speak to yourself in reflection to others? Are you comparing yourself to others, or do you just find that actually you're able to compare yourself to who you were a few years ago and think, well, I've actually come a long way. I am fairly accomplished. I've put it all together. You are very accomplished, Gemini. And so what we got is this 5 of Swords and the 2 of Wands for the transit of Mars through your 7th house. Orientate yourself in reflection to others, of course, with a transit of the 7th house. But this is a great time to expand your sense of self and recognize how good you've come. Maybe you're connecting with different people from different belief systems, different nationalities. Maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're connecting with different people all across the world. You are the great connector. You are the bridge. And so draw it on in and recognize yourself, because you're worthy, Gemini. This is the 5 of Swords and the 2 of Wands for the transit of Mars in your 7th house from December the 13th until January 24th. Very nice indeed. Okay, next we got Cancer. Wow, Cancer, we will have a full moon in your sign throughout this transit at some point. This is a 5-week transit of Mars through your 6th house. And so this can be a great time to work on our mental health. This could be a great time to work on our day-to-day rituals, our routines, our practices, Cancer. I know maybe you're dealing with the kids. I know that it's a family time, isn't it? When we're going through the holy days, the whole days are for our connection with those most important, nearest and dearest. But you are your own nearest and dearest family member. You can be your own nearest and dearest lover, like no other there, Cancer. And so this is very powerful for you. Mars actually does rule your 10th house of work. Maybe you got some time off work, but maybe you got some homework to do. I'm laughing because you're all about the home, aren't you, Cancer? But this is about finding how you can find that the greatest homework is how we speak to ourselves, how we honor ourselves, how we say, you're good enough, you're beautiful, I recognize you, hey, I love you, yeah. Be gentle with yourself. Anchor a new story of love. And that wisdom which you share with yourself will ripple on out. It will echo on out into all of your local vicinities that you choose to orientate yourself within, whether it's the work, whether you're going to the gym, any of this kind of stuff. Mars also rules your 5th house. And so your creativity is heartfelt. And you can find that other people that you connect with are really going to want to connect with, be creative with you. And so that's really exciting. And so maybe it's about collaborations in the work, or maybe it's about sharing your energy and going to a coffee shop. Maybe it's about going to do a new project, a new endeavor. I don't know what you're going to be doing there, Cancer, but it's very exciting for you to have Mars going through your 6th house. You might be activated and inspired to do things that you've never done before. Maybe you're learning a new language. Maybe you're learning astrology. Maybe you're going to come for a consultation with me. I don't know what to do in Cancer, but it's tremendously beneficial, like, you know, because we're looking at the Mars activation in the sign of the Great Benefic. And the Great Benefic is going into your 9th house. It's a tremendous time to be learning something for you, to be studying something for you. And so, again, we might actually have to consider other people's beliefs about that which we choose to study or that which we choose to do. Maybe it's about your own emotions. Maybe you've got to check in. Other people might be like doing all these different things, but how can you honor yourself? How can you find that you're able to be that love for yourself as well as all of those around you? And so not only do we have the major arcana of temperance, but we got the genius. We got the, what's that word? The constellation. We got the thing that hangs from the top of the ceiling. It's a chandelier. You might see it all in a flash. And you're like, I've got a plan. You are the plan. You are the whole landscape. And so you can find that you're able to roll out your genius in your day-to-day practices as you honor your emotions, as you find that this is a great time to be the anchor of love, the news reporter. You know, this is a very creative time. Mars in the 6th house until January the 24th. As of December the 13th for Cancer, we have Temperance and the Star card. Woo, yeah. Very nice. Very exciting indeed. So next we got Leo. Leo, this is the transit of Mars through your 5th house. We are actually within a lunar cycle that began in your 5th house. That's relevant for everyone pretty much. And so with regards to the fact that Mars is transiting where this lunar cycle began, but we will move into the Capricornian lunar cycle as of January 2nd. And so what you're working with is with your heart and the expansion of your creativity, and with Mars there's a sense of self-orientation. Mars ruling your 9th house of belief systems, Aries, and your 4th house of family and home. And so this is a great opportunity for really finding that we can deal with nurturing ourselves while we're working with people who've got different belief systems in our family. It's a creative way of expressing connection, even though there's so many different divisions and separations in the world. And this is a challenge for everybody, but within our hearts, within our creativity, there's always a way, because where there's a will, there's a way, and we've got a will. It's our sphere of influence, and it's our fortune to be able to connect within that. And so what we got down here is the Queen of Hearts. Yes, this is about owning it, staying within the heart space, and magnetizing all the different resources to you. You're plentiful. You're totally abundant. Your prosperity is within your heart's joy. And this is a tremendous opportunity to activate that heart's joy as we go up above and beyond, demonstrating love in a creative way. And so this is tremendous. We actually do have the sun there for quite some time before it makes ingress into your 6th house. And as we said, Mars does rule Scorpio, which is your 4th house. And so you can find great stability in your home space, in your own nurturance. You can find that you're supported by those around you in your family, or maybe you're able to support them too within your own expression of who you are, which is a sound, love, frequency, inspirational being. So for the transit of Mars through Leo's 5th house from December the 13th until January 24th, we have the Queen of Cups, which is the Queen of Hearts, Princess Diana kind of card, and the 4 of Wands. Very nice indeed. We are family, and it's our creativity that brings us together. You are appreciated, Leo. This is a brilliant time for us all. Right, next we got Virgo. Well, Virgo, you know, your ruling planet Mercury will be going through Capricorn, which is your 5th house, and it will go into your 6th house as well, in and out, shaking it all about. But how are you going to cultivate your message with Mars transit through Sagittarius, which is your 4th house of home and family? This is a tremendous activation for your communications with those people near and dear to you. Sometimes things are better left not said. You know, some things that they just come out and they have to be expressed. Sometimes they just come out like a fraudulent slip. And so we have to deal with these types of things. We have to deal with what's hidden, because Mars does rule Aries, which is your 8th house of collaborative shared energy. And with Mars in the 4th house, unless you're solo dolo in your own home space, then obviously we're working with this shared energy space. But also Scorpio is the 3rd house of Virgo. And so this is about finding that the mutual space and the bridge of connection and appreciation, so that we can find the love that we're able to share and bond us once more in a deeper way. Maybe this can bring us together in a deeper connection than ever before, this energy that we're working with. And so Virgo, with Mars transit through your 4th house from December the 13th until January the 24th, the card which we got for you is, well, as I said, Mars rules your 8th house. So we got the 8 of Pentacles. So it's about sharing the value of yourself with others, other people sharing their value with you, and honoring that space. But it's about recognizing through your intellectual guise, because you are very smart, obviously, ruled by Mercury, you see things in details that other people don't. In a compassionate manner, Pisces is your 7th house. We've got the 7 of Swords. And so how can you be very compassionate with your word, with the bondage that is love in your communication? This is about connecting, not separation. And sometimes we need a little bit of space too. It's about knowing our boundaries. Where we start, somebody else often begins. And so this is knowing how to be the example of love. You are the hermeticist, of course. And so you lead by example, and people really pay attention to how you're leading yourself rather than what you're expressing so much. And so you can lead with your truth from the inside out in your home space with the 8 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. And that's for the transit of Mars in your 4th house there, Virgo, from December the 13th all the way till January the 24th. Exciting stuff indeed. I appreciate you. You are appreciated, Full Fitness. Thank you for being you. I'm grateful for you. Now we've got to my sign, my ascendant and my moon sign, Libra. And so what we're recognizing for us Libra folks is that, yeah, Venus, our ruling planet, is stationing at this time next to Pluto. It will actually go all the way back to the 11th degree of Capricorn in the 4th house for you guys. So you're dealing with the home space, dealing with family, dealing with nurturing old past traumas, maybe from the childhood. However, this is about recognizing that we're talking about Mars going through the 3rd house. And sometimes these things come out through our communications, and it's about bringing them out so we can deal with these old stories and changing our narrations of them. And this means that we change the whole story. We change the whole wrecked chord. We find that we're able to tune up the accordance of our own frequency when we hear ourselves through clairaudience. Sometimes we don't really know our truth until we actually communicate it with other people. But we're like, oh, now I hear now my frequency. I'm present right here, right now. And I'm just listening to myself, and I'm hearing myself loud and clear in a different way that I haven't done before. So this is very powerful for our self-recognition. Mars does rule Aries, which is the 7th house as Libra, as well as Scorpio, which is the 2nd house of Libra. So it's really about finding our self-worth, disengaging from things that don't serve us, maybe not going into combative situations that feel less than. I mean, also, this is about honoring things with regards to the virtues and values that can be implicated through different laws that are going on. I mean, I often don't like to wear the mask. I'm very open about that. I will sometimes in a considerate manner do so, but at other times, if there's the opportunity not to, if I'm not needing to be in a certain place, then I'll just leave if they want to do that kind of thing. I won't go in if they want to do that kind of thing. And so this is about our value, our virtues, our deepest core truth. Core blimey, you're worthy, Libra. And this is a transit of your 3rd house from December the 13th until January the 24th. The card which we got for you guys, ooh, we got a couple. Hasn't happened very often throughout this broadcast, is Judgment. Very Libra, right? I love this card. Look at it. It's about the rising phoenix. This is about finding that we can let go of our judgments. Maybe we're judging ourselves, you know. But it's again about the full manifestation of your wealth. Oh my goodness gracious. Yes, we got the 10 Pentacles. And this is about when we honor ourselves, when we don't squeeze ourselves into little boxes because we're just doing what we're told. And we're like, this isn't for me, but I'm just going to go along with it anyway. When you stand up for your truth and you recognize that you're good enough, that you're worthy, then you can broaden who you are. You can stand for yourself. Yeah, exactly. Exactamundo. This is the Death card and the Judgment card and the 10 of Pentacles. And it's very interesting that Mars does rule Scorpio, your second house. So this is about fully coming into the change, fully coming into your power, fully coming into what might have been hidden, and it's bringing it on out. Obviously, Venus going through its retrograde, 40 days and 40 nights, going through the underworld. This is a tremendous time to access our wealth. And sometimes our wealth is hidden from us. So Mars is helping bringing it on out through its transit of your third house in Sagittarius from the 13th of December until the 24th of January. We've got the Judgment card, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Death card for Libra. I love that bit, obviously, because I'm a Libra ascendant and moon. But there you go. Well, lastly, certainly not leastly, Scorpio. You're ruled by Mars. Mars is just leaving your first house. It's going to make ingress into Sagittarius on the 13th of December. And it shall be there in your second house until January the 24th. This is a tremendous time of accessing your greatest value and broadening it, expanding your gifts, your talents, and talent is fortuitous. You can access your greatest fortune. Really? Yes, sincerely, quite really. You can really access your tremendous future by being present here now and honoring the love of your greatest wisdom. Mars, your ruling planet, going through the rising Phoenix sign, Sagittarius, which is your second house. This is a tremendous time to express your truth, to really let loose. And that's about being that solution. You're not scarce, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And so it's about communication, coming into the commune of your truth. We've got the 3 of Pentacles there for you, Scorpio. I wonder what's bottom of the pack. But this is about the value of your word. This is about the value of your pitter-patter. Yeah, Mercury's going to be going through your third house where Venus is retrograde. And it's really about not shying away. It's about showing up for yourself. It's about honoring yourself. And it's about honoring your inclinations, intuition. It's about seeing your reflection, just standing within that truth. And that's the most valuable thing you can do. We've got the King of Pentacles. That's standing strong in your value, isn't it? Just like I said. It's being a practical force of self-empowerment. And that's what you're all about, Scorpio. You are so deeply and dearly appreciated. This is the transit of your ruling planet, Mars, through your second house of Sagittarius from December the 13th till January the 24th. This is a very powerful activation of self-wisdom. Be that love which you need not seek because you are the founder of it. And so embody your own inspirational truth. Why? Because you are worthy. And I'm grateful for you. 3 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles for Scorpio, transit of Mars for your second house until January the 24th. Very nice indeed. I am pleased that I've managed to get this all wrapped up nicely for you guys. I'm very grateful for you being present. You are the great gift, but this is a wrap for now. If you'd like to make the most of the tremendous opportunity that we got available with a 30% discount on all readings, whether you want to go for a 1 hour or you want to go for a 2 hour, I'm here to serve you. All you need to do is follow the links in the description. I am very excited to connect with you and follow through and read you your horoscope for 2022 and even into 23. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to provide these services for you and to connect with you. You are brilliant, and this is my greatest gift. You are that gift, and I'm here just to reflect the love of your truth back to you. You're fantastic, so accomplished, so wise, so tremendous, so dear, infinitely valuable, full of love, overflowing with the good stuff. Thank you for being where you're at. Thank you for being you. I'll speak to you in the not too distant future from now. Cheerio for now.